Is it not true that the mysteries of God are for those who have sought them out or have been initiated into the rites? Is there also not some reason to point out that all of these allegories and legends and stories about prophets who, after certain means and methods, were picked up and carried into the divine presence, is there any way in which we can doubt that these journeys implied what we might term today religious ecstasy? That these journeys were not physical. These experiences do not mean that a person has in the flesh departed into some other region, but that the true flesh, which is the spirit, has been raised up and the body has been left behind. This point is clearly made in connection with the apocryphal account of Muhammad and his night journey to heaven. The magic of conscious projection, the mystery of controlling the relationship between the body and the consciousness. Only those who are pure of heart may see God. Only those in whom a great achievement of spiritual integrity has already been accomplished must practice the mysteries of the Merkaba. For all others, this will lead to self-destruction, which is no more nor less than an actual statement of the warnings attendant upon the practice of esoteric disciplines. I think we can, without question, particularly by reference to the Kabbalah and its meditative principles, come to the conclusion that the Jewish mystics were perfectly aware of what we may term yogic practice. That under one way or another, under one name or another, they were conscious of this mysterious constitution of man, with its mysterious gangliated structure, by means of which, through meditation, the consciousness of the individual could gradually be extricated from the complex of matter and be capable of an experience or existence in itself, attended by those extensions of faculties which may normally be expected under such conditions. The visions of the Jewish prophets and seers all tell this same story, and all would indicate definitely that the so-called anointing of the prophet also included an instruction in which a predecessor accepted this prophet into his own life, conveyed to him the mystery of the Merkaba, which is the same mystery that was transmitted in medieval times to the alchemists under the mysterious formulas of chemistry. Therefore, that the actual secret doctrine in Israel is the same as in any other part of the world, a doctrine relating to the power of lifting up man as a spiritual being and giving him the internal experience of unity with divine truth. The entire purpose of initiation into secret orders was always the same, namely the attainment of an increase of consciousness, a deeper insight into life and its mysteries, an insight that could only be strengthened by some kind of meditational discipline, a procedure that was formal and not incidental, not merely part of the be-goodness which was given to the people, but a part of a be-betterness that was reserved for a few, and by that few was held to be sacred, and not to be communicated to any who had not passed through certain probationships and certain earlier developments. They also recognized, as all mystics have, that the mystical experience is only a symbol, an intensified symbol of a process that must take place in society for the ultimate regeneration of all living things. That which comes to the mystic for a moment, in his trance or his ecstasy, represents the presence of faculties that must ultimately be so completely trained and disciplined and revealed that the whole world and all knowledge and all peoples will share in the same experience, not only sharing in it for a moment, but sharing in it forever by the ultimate development of the faculties which produce it. Thus, in the Kabbalah, we have the immediate experience of truth, and we have the remote experience of the regeneration of all mankind. We have the concept that not only must the individual find this salvation for himself, but that it is part of a system which reveals within him and within all human beings the instrument necessary for this final perfection of man. So the Kabbalah actually does teach that within the nature and constitution of Adam, even though he be in a relapsed state, there is still the whole mystery of heaven. That the mystery of heaven is locked in him. That it was not taken from him, but closed within him. That as he fell into material condition, those parts of his nature which were divine were obscured, drugged, made heavy and laden, as in the Greek philosophy. But that these mysteries were not taken away. They were merely submerged, like some strange ancient land submerged beneath the depths of the ocean.
At the heart, ladies and gentlemen, of the alchemical mystery, of course, lies a secret. Now, this is no ordinary secret. It is that which they really want us to believe cannot be told. The experience of gnosis. And they believe, if you study the occult and the secret societies long enough, you'll understand that they believe that ultimately this inexplicable knowing, the gnosis, cannot be conferred or taught, only incubated and gestated. One either gets it or one does not. Those who get it are helped up the ladder by those above them, and those who do not progress. Simply, ladies and gentlemen, they do not progress. And they never learn the ultimate secret, which is what we're looking for, isn't it? And we find the same content and experience of gnosis from the modern Samyama experiments at Maharishi University all the way back to the ancient Egyptians and before. We can find the same content and spontaneous experiences, in fact, from mystics of all eras. The secret at the core of alchemy is an ineffable experience of the real workings of our local cosmological neighborhood. Doubt it not. So how can one incubate and gestate such an experience? The answer may lie in the word transmitted. Modern sociologists, folks, have begun to discuss the concept of memes, or complex idea groups, such as monotheism or democracy, that appear to have the ability to replicate themselves. And memes seem to have other properties as well, such as an unusual psychic component.
This process continues until there arises in man the mysterious complex which we call intellect. Gradually, as man passes through certain stages of evolution, he becomes a self-thinking creature. He becomes a being capable of reasoning power. He also becomes a being capable of self-understanding and self-analysis. Consequently, a conscious cooperation with the universal plan implies the need for some way of increasing insight, some way of discovering the nature of that plan. Therefore, he is under a constant testing, a trial, a kind of initiation, and becomes one appointed, anointed, set apart by his own dedication. Then it is believed and taught that as it occurred to Ezekiel, at the moment in which his own readiness is found, at a time which only God knoweth, the mystery of the Merkaba will be revealed. The heavens will open, and the secrets of the esoteric arts will be inwardly and intuitively known. Therefore, that it is not necessary for them to be communicated. It is only necessary that they be merited in a true, a complete, and adequate way. And in this process of personal, consecrated, intentional growth, he will also enjoy gradually the development of those faculties and powers which evolution has impelled all persons to expect and to know. These powers exist in man. Some persons will receive them 1,000 years from now, some nations 10,000 years from now. But to the individual who merits them by the anticipation of the qualities and practices related to them, they may be more immediately available. Thus, the powers of the seer are not a unique, unnatural group of powers. They are merely faculties that all men will possess in the fullness of time. But because the seer has dedicated himself, has anticipated time, has grown more rapidly than the common demand, he achieves ends which in his own day appear miraculous, but which will be sustained and justified in future ages.
Is what occultism is. It's understanding the laws of nature and our connection to them, the self's connection to them. Okay, and as a result, we are aligning all of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions toward the goal of the evolution not only of our individuated self, but the evolution of all beings.